Welcome, everyone. I am Art Kozak, and this is Art Kozak Tarot. And for the bonus reading this week, I decided to do a reading specifically for subscribers. For those so far very few of you who have subscribed to this channel, or anyone who will subscribe to the channel before March 8th of 2020. That's within the next week. And so, as a special thank you for being the first to subscribe to this channel, I wanted to do a reading specifically for you. It's good that there are so few of you so far in respect to the fact that this is going to be a fairly directed reading. I want you, if possible, to go ahead and think about whatever it is you want to know about, because it's going to be a general reading, but I want to speak specifically to what's most on your mind. This can have to do with something that's covered in another reading that you're unclear about. This can be your love life, this can be your professional life, or this can be something else to the side, something that's really just you want a little bit of extra information on. And so taking a look, I have the cards down on the table already, and taking a look at what I'm seeing here, I can see subscribers that you have been studying. You have been studying up over the past, and I can see it's something that you're very, very passionate about. You put your passions into your search for knowledge. You turned your search for knowledge towards your passions, however that worked. And it's something you were very passionate about, and you put a lot of energy into it. In fact, you may still be in a phase or just exiting a phase where there was a lot of frantic activity involved. And this course of study may be formal. From what I'm looking at here, some of you may be in college specifically, or you may be in some other kind of formal institution of higher learning, or it may be something that you're studying up on your own. Of course, you're here, you're watching tarot videos, so you have this kind of interest. You have some esoteric interest that might have to do with it as well. But I think this is something that's going to, or at least is intended to lead to more material prosperity for you down the line. It's an investment in your future. You've been making an investment in your future with regards to what you are passionate about, and a lot of frantic activity. Now, in general, you have been kind of playing the conquering hero. Here, you have been really kind of struggling to keep things together, to keep yourself together, to meet all of the requirements that have been placed upon you. But you've also been feeling your sense of freedom here in this. You've also been feeling that you are okay on your own doing this. This is something that's kind of thrilling to you, because this is coming from you, from who you are specifically, even though it's been kind of hard. It's been kind of hard to get down this road. It might have been a rough road. And you've been aiming at a specific goal, okay? You've been aiming at one specific victory. There's one specific victory that you've been looking for in this. I can tell you that coming up in the future, now what you want is to win big. I can see you're aiming at a victory, and that's what you want. So this is a very clear reading. This is a very specific reading. Again, I may be speaking in general terms, but that's so that the few of you can apply it to exactly what you're interested in. In the future, coming up, you're going to be turning away from something, okay? You may be turning away from, this may be a natural course of events. Whatever it is that you're studying, whatever it is that you've been doing to make this investment in your future, you are moving from one phase to the next. And of course, that, as with many of us, when we graduate from high school or even from college, whatever kind of school that we go to, the end of that has it's kind of double-sided. You might miss it, and you might feel great about the fact that you've accomplished it, but you might be kind of through with it too. You might kind of be over and done with it. There's something in your life that you're just kind of over and done with. And it's something that you felt yourself bound by, you felt yourself restricted throughout this process probably. So you felt that you've restricted and you didn't know what your options were for making that better. Even though you were feeling your freedom, even though you were working hard and accomplishing your goals, you still kind of had the shackles on. And that is what you are going to be turning away from. So that's good news. It's very good news, because it's going to be another step in for forwarding yourself into the future, forwarding your own interests into the future, building a better future for yourself. After this transpires, you're then going to go into a phase where you experience and have the opportunity to experience material simplicity. You're going to be holding in your resources, specifically your financial resources. You may find that you have fewer resources, fewer material resources than you had supposed or expected to have. But you're going to be okay because the attitude you're taking towards this is one of conservation. And so it's not like you're a spendthrift who's now lost all their money and now they're out in the cold. You know that you're going to have to tighten the belt for a little while. And you've been through some difficult circumstances as it is. You've been through some trials. So you know how to get through this without letting it tear you apart. You know how to get through this without this lean time. And I'm not seeing exactly how long the lean time is going to last. I think that that's something that you might know a little bit more than I would, because you are on this specific path. You are on this very self-directed path that you've chosen for yourself. You're going to be very wise with regards to handling this, I don't want to say crisis, but this difficulty, this challenge that you have in going lean for a little bit, conserving your resources, maybe even conserving your emotional resources. Now, I am showing that with regards to other people, you're going to be great. In fact, I think your social life may take a boost whenever you going into the future after you accomplish this goal you've been working on, after you reach that little milestone. Your social life is going to be very bright, and you're not going to be wanting for friends, okay? And so even if you are wanting for material resources, or you are a little bit tired because of the things you've had to go through, you're going to have plenty of love in your life. I'm showing that specifically, I think for some of you, this may apply to some of you more than others, but specifically, I see a very kind and helpful feminine figure, whether it's a female or a male, but it's represented by the Queen of Hearts or the Queen of Cups, and she's in this context, she is someone who has a lot of love to give, and this is someone who whether you're with them or they are supporting you from afar, that they have a lot of love for you, and you know that you have this love in your life that you can depend on. There's also another individual represented by the King of Swords, who is a very wise and intelligent person, very wise and intelligent counselor. And this person may not have their emotions on their sleeve quite so much, but they are going to be someone, again, that you can depend upon for some structure in your life when you need it. And again, they're going to be very happy to have you around. They're going to be very happy to hear from you. Just all around, your social life is going to be great. Now, as far as the overall result is concerned, I think you're going to, once again, I'm showing you're going through a little bit of a lean time, but you're taking absolutely the right attitude towards this. And this challenge, if it is a challenge for you, and it may not be that much of a challenge, as I say, you've been through a lot already. And I do see that you're going to be capable of quite a lot. So if you are experiencing some challenges, if you are having to conserve your resources either materially or emotionally, just know that, and I think you will know, that you are capable of doing that, and you are doing that for a reason. You are doing that because you have other goals now that you want to accomplish. Okay, and these are things that you know you can do. It's just one more step. It's one more step along the road. You are going to experience some disappointment. I think maybe even though your social life is going to be very bright and you're going to have a lot of love around you and a lot of love available to you, you may find yourself losing some relationships. Maybe one in particular, maybe no longer being a part of a social group that you thought you would, still stay in contact with. There will be some disappointment there, but it's not anything, again, that you can't keep moving away from. It's not anything that's going to destroy you or delay you. It's just something that you're going to have to face. Relationships in our lives come and go. There are going to be phases where I think for most of us, where we tend to shed our former social life, we tend to shed our former friends and acquaintances, and then move on to others. There are going to be people in your life who are stable. There are going to be some maybe who are not, who are falling away. You are also, again, going to be in a very good place when it comes to being wise, being temperate. Now, involves the temperance card. And if you may have heard me say this before, but the temperance in the tarot can be a little bit enigmatic or even confusing sometimes unless you think about just the surface meaning of it, being temperate, not going to extremes. It might involve going on a diet, but it's not an extreme diet. It might involve cutting back on your spending, but it's not to a point of deprivation. Temperance is that kind of mild, kind of general, overall evening out of your life that is very good and very productive and, in the end, very restful and very rejuvenating. And I see that this is what's going to be happening for you. You've been through some trying times and you've given some major effort to get to a place where you are capable of doing what you want to do, okay, where you're going to have options in front of you doing what you want to do. You've been seeking that victory, and even though there's still some difficult, life is life, there are always difficulties to come and challenges to face. The ultimate conclusion here is that you are someone who is very happy because you have reached that point of temperance and you've integrated temperance into your life, into yourself. You've grown, become a much more complete human being. And I see that this is going to lead you, to a point where, yes, you've grown as a person, you've become much more complete, and now you have that passion that you've been studying for and working for in hand. You have gained some mastery over it, and you are a great deal more capable than you ever were before. And so I hope this reading was helpful to you. Once again, thank you for subscribing, and I hope to speak to you again in the future.